Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel, Whispered Hub. Today, we're going to talk about how to stop translating in your head and improve language fluency. Let's get started. Identify objects around you in English. The first way to stop translating in your head is to identify the objects around you in your target language. If you're studying English, that means you look at the objects around the room and the things in your life. Don't think of them in your native language first. Think of them in your target language first. For example, if I look around the room and see a computer, I shouldn't think of the word in my native language. I should think of it in my target language. So start with the items and situations in your everyday life. If I say computer in English, I might say computer in Japanese. If I see water, I might say omizu in Japanese. Start associating the words in your target language with your everyday life. Repeat phrases you hear native speakers use. Tip number 2 is to repeat the phrases that you hear native speakers use. If you're watching this channel, a TV show, or a movie, listen to how native speakers make those phrases. If you hear a phrase you've never heard before or an interesting combination of words, try to repeat them yourself. Don't just listen, say them yourself. If you're in a public space and it's difficult for you to do that, practice in a place where you feel more comfortable. Repeat them and get your mouth used to saying the words the way native speakers do. If you never actually say the words and only listen, it's hard to practice and improve your pronunciation. So try to repeat after native speakers. For example, you can repeat after this video because I'm using expressions and vocabulary words the way a native speaker would. Try to practice the ways that native speakers put their words together. You can do this when you're reading books too by reading out loud. Create a situation where you can't escape into your native language. Creating a situation where you can't escape into your native language essentially means immersing yourself. Going to a country where the language is spoken or to a place where you can only speak that language can be very difficult. But if you can create a similar environment in your life, it's very beneficial. This could be in your library, room, or house. Try to create a situation where you have no choice but to use your target language and cannot escape to your native language. It forces you to use the language you're studying. It can be hard, scary, and embarrassing at first. But if you find comfortable places to make mistakes and ask questions, it's very valuable for your learning process. This is something I did. My Japanese wasn't very good for a long time, but I made friends who couldn't speak English. I found a hobby and joined a group where everything was taught in Japanese. This forced me to study, think about the words they were using, and learn how to produce them naturally. So try to do that even in your house. It's super helpful. Watch TV and movies in your target language without subtitles. Tip number 4 is to watch TV and movies in your target language without subtitles. Watching with subtitles can be beneficial, but sometimes I focus too much on reading and forget to listen. If you've seen a movie a few times with subtitles, try turning them off and focus on the character's body language and the words they're using. You can always look up words you don't know later. Another way is to use closed captions in your target language, not in your native language. This way, you see the words and hear them at the same time. So try watching movies without subtitles and with closed captions in the target language. Don't bring a dictionary to your lesson. Tip number 5 is not to bring a dictionary to your lesson. Dictionaries, especially electronic ones on our phones, are very convenient, but using them during a lesson can be detrimental. If you reach a point in a conversation where you don't know a word, don't pull out your dictionary. Instead, try to explain the word to your conversation partner. If you're speaking with a native speaker, they can teach you the word, and you'll remember it better than if you just looked it up. Try not to use a dictionary during conversation practice as it disrupts the flow. Practice describing the vocabulary word you want to use and learn how to ask for it. Train responses to common questions. Number 6 is to train responses to common questions. For example, a very common question in English is, "Hey, how are you?" You should know how to answer this question quickly. If it takes you a long time to answer, you need more practice. Think about default responses like, "I'm good," "I'm okay," or "not bad." Train these responses until they feel natural. This will save you time and help move the conversation forward. Study with materials that don't provide a translation. The next tip is to study with materials that don't provide a translation. If you're using worksheets or textbooks with your target language and native language side by side, it can be helpful. However, studying materials only in your target language with simplified explanations in the same language can be more beneficial. This helps you to think and learn in your target language. Look for materials that provide simplified explanations in your target language. Study phrases in addition to single vocabulary words. Next, study phrases in addition to single vocabulary words. Vocabulary is important, but understanding how a word is used in a phrase helps you grasp its nuance better. For example, the word crazy in English can mean different things depending on the context. Look at how words are used in phrases to get more information. Do your daily activities in English where possible. The next tip is to do your daily activities in your target language. If you're studying English, try to do some daily activities in English. Think about your everyday life in English. This helps you practice your verbs and find gaps in your vocabulary. If you're doing something and can't remember the verb, you can check a dictionary and learn it. Use a learner's dictionary for new words. The last tip is to use a learner's dictionary for new words. These dictionaries provide simplified explanations in simple English, which helps you understand the word from the language you're studying, not from your native language. This can be very useful. Those are 10 tips to help you stop translating in your head. It takes time and practice. I hope these strategies help you as you study any language. If you have tried these strategies or have other tips, please let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this episode of Whispered Hub, and I will see you again soon. Bye.